Vamos, and today I am going to walk you through a virtual Intro to Childcare program. The library will have a PowerPoint available for you so that you can you can go through everything as I go through it, but I also have it in back of me. So if you have any trouble getting these PowerPoints, just let us know and we'll get them sent to you. Okay, so usually I do this program in person, but like I said, today we're going to do it virtually. So this is Introduction to Childcare. This program is great for people that want to babysit, right, want to start their first job. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My first job was babysitting, and I still really babysit until this day. So I've been babysitting for more than half my life. These are pictures of me. This child is now in college. This one is going into first grade, and this girl is going into, I guess she's in 10th grade now. So I really have been babysitting for so long. I started as a mother's helper, which we'll discuss exactly what that is. And then, like I said, I still babysit till this day. When I was younger, I used to go for, an hour or two and babysit. Now when I babysit, I more do overnights, which is something you guys wouldn't do yet, right? So babysitting for me is gonna look a little different than babysitting for you because I can drive, but we're gonna be going through a bunch of things. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or email us and I will get back to you. So like I said, I've been babysitting for a long, long time. Don't mind my red pants. I promise those were pulled back in the day. So what is the difference from a mother's helper and a babysitter? Some of you may know that answer, some of you may not. Usually babysitters start as mother's helpers. So a mother's helper is someone that is helping watch the baby while the parents are home. Okay, usually mother's helpers get paid a little less because the adults are usually still there. It's a great way to start for you so that you feel comfortable, if you have a question, the mom or the dad or grandma or somebody's in the house to ask. Also for them, right? If someone's having a baby and they're like having someone else watch the baby for the first time, they might not feel so comfortable just leaving the baby alone. So it's also nice for the parent to have that comfort of, okay, I'm upstairs. If the babysitter, if the mother's helper needs me, I'm close by. And then babysitter, you watch the children while the parents are not home. And again, usually you get paid more money because it's more of a responsibility. Okay, again, great way to start. Mother's helping. I remember I started, maybe I was 13 years old, and a neighbor, she would be outside gardening. I'd be inside with the kids. Any questions, I could just ask her. And it was a great way to start. Okay, so the top 10 list of what parents look for in a babysitter, right? So there's certain characteristics that a good babysitter has, and these are it. Responsibility. You're responsible for another life, so you really have to be responsible when you're babysitting, right? You shouldn't be on your phone, and we'll talk about all that, but you're responsible for a living life. Of course it's living if it has life, but you just want to be responsible. You want to imagine that you were the parent. You would want to have someone that's responsible, that's able to take care of their child, a genuine interest in their kids. Kids are really good at telling when someone's lying. So you want to really be interested in what they're interested in. I always tell the story of like Pokemon. I don't really know that much about Pokemon, but if I see a kid and he's wearing a Pokemon shirt and I'm babysitting him, I might say, oh, who's your favorite Pokemon? Mine is Pikachu. You want to try to relate to what they are into and show interest. If they come home and are really excited about, their class pet, you want to show interest in that, right? You want to show that you care, because what's interesting to a little kid, what's interesting to us might be different, but you really want to show that genuine interest in them. Sensitivity to their children's needs. Every child's different, right? Some need more affection than others. Some need more attention than others. So just really cueing in on that. Honesty. I babysat and by mistake broken things. I've had kids that have fallen. I'm always honest with the parents what happens. You just want to be honest. Also, people have cameras in their house, right? You never know who's watching. You just always want to be honest. Even I did babysat for people before, and we didn't mesh well together. The kids just really weren't listening to me, and I was honest. And I told the parents, there might be a different babysitter that's better suited out there. So just always honest. Punctuality, on time. If I have to be somewhere at 5, I want to be there by 4:50. It's better to be late. It's better to be early than late. Again, if it's your neighbor, super easy. You're just walking over there. If you're getting driven by your parents, that's a little different. But, just even let them know. Send them a text or call them and say, oh, my mom's running late from work to drive me over. I'll be there soon. Just kind of letting them know. Usually if a parent is asking you to be there at 5, they're most likely not leaving till 5:36. So if you're, a minute or 2 late, it's okay, but still let them know. Kindness and gentleness, but firmness when needed. So you want a babysitter that's nice, right? I remember I used to babysit and the parents would send me a video of the girl being like, oh, I'm so excited for you to come over, I can't wait. So you want them to be excited, but also you don't want to be a pushover. I remember once I was driving and I had 2 siblings in the car and they were kind of fighting. When you're driving, parents, if 2 kids are yelling in the back, it kind of, you can't pay attention. So I didn't yell, but I just kind of told them, guys, you can't be fighting while I'm driving. And it was funny because then the girl was like, oh, you yelled at us. And I was like, I wasn't yelling, but sometimes you just have to be firm, right? If, someone's like, oh, can you please stop talking? Or can you please stop, right? There's a difference. Like I always use too, if a kid's in the street and a car's coming, you're not gonna say, oh wait, don't go there. You're gonna say, guys, stop, a car, right? So just kind of being firm, but also being nice and personable. Respect for the parents' privacy and possessions. You're in someone's house, right? It's different. It's not like you're working at an ice cream shop. You're in someone's house, so they have all of their things, their possessions, everything around. So you just want to be mindful of their stuff. Never looking through. Of course, you can look through a kitchen cabinet if you need something, but there's no reason to be in the parents' bedroom looking, anything like that. Just imagine if someone was at your house, how you want them to treat your house. Ability to be focused. Sorry, I'm going to have to take water breaks because I'm going to be talking a lot. Ability to be focused and calm on the job. Luckily, knock on wood, I have never had this happen, but I have known people that have been there when kids have gotten hurt, right? Had to go to the doctor. If a child falls, the best thing to do is to stay calm, right? So if a kid falls, I'll usually say, oh no, do we hurt your arm? Should we go to the Michelle store and get you a new arm? And kind of they laugh it off, right? If you see when a kid falls, usually the first thing they'll do is they'll look at the adult to see their reaction. If you stay calm, they'll stay calm. So just really staying calm and also staying focused. Again, not being on your phone, not doing other things, really focusing on the kids. Common sense. Common sense is always not that common, right? Just doing things, thinking, if you were the parent, how would you want things to be held, right? Not doing certain things, not letting the kids go riding their bike without a helmet or go playing outside near the pool without you being there. Just stuff like that. And friendliness, right? They want you to be friendly. They want you to get along with the kids. Just be yourself. You being your authentic self is the best. Did I skip over one? No, I didn't. Okay, how to get started. So the best way is let your friends, family, parents, co-workers, neighbors, anyone like that know that you're interested in babysitting. If people don't know that you're interested, then they won't know that you want to do it. So let them know. If you do a good job, you'll get recommendations. That's basically kind of how I started babysitting. A friend was moving who used to babysit for her sister's friends, and then I got her job after she moved, and then their friends started asking, and it just kind of snowballed. So again, do a good job and you'll get recommended. The neighborhood. My thing is I would recommend against putting things in people's mailboxes or posting anything in the neighborhood or, you know, at coffee shops. If you don't know the person, you really don't want to babysit for them, especially at your age. But if you know the neighbors, let the people across the street know, right? It's great for if the parents want to shower or go work out or, again, do yard work, that you're so close by. And then another way to get started is pet sitting. If you don't feel maybe comfortable babysitting right away, but you like animals, you can start watching their pets. They'll be like, this person's really responsible. Maybe they could watch my kids. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, that's about it. Just start with people you know, people you feel comfortable with. Okay, I'm not sure why it's underlining my you, but you received a call to babysit, now what? So let's say your mom's coworker calls you. How do you kind of navigate all that? So you want to set up a time to meet before you go babysitting, and you want to bring your parents. I remember when I was younger, it was a different time. We didn't have cell phones. Yeah, probably when I started, we didn't have cell phones. My mom used to want the address, the phone number, all this information about the people that I was going to babysit. At first, I was like, Mom, that's so embarrassing. But you have to understand you're your parents' babies, so give them that information so they know where you are. But again, your parents should be bringing you. Your parents are probably going to want to meet, if they don't really know these people, if it's like a friend of a friend, they're going to want to meet the people you babysit for. So again, set up a time to meet before you go. Most likely you would meet at their house because that's where you'll be babysitting. Find out about the age, gender of the children and how many. Are you babysitting for one infant? Are you babysitting for 5 kids? Also write the age. You might not feel comfortable with a newborn baby, but you might want to babysit older kids, or you might not want to babysit older, so it really matters, right? Discuss money. We'll talk about that a little more. Money can get awkward, so you want to just make sure that you know how much you're getting paid before you go there, because if you think you're getting $100 and you leave with 10, you're not going to be very happy. So discuss that. Discuss how you will get home. Neighbors, you could just cross the street, right? I know when I was not old enough to drive, my parents would drive me there, and their parents would drive me home. Just one thing I would say is if you don't feel comfortable getting in the car with someone, do not. But figure that out because it's kind of important, right? Write it down, put it in your calendar. I have a paper calendar and I also have my phone calendar. I put everything work-related in both of those because sometimes with electronics, you know, things go wrong. So I just make sure I write it down. I am a person that I like to write everything down and I like to check it off. So even the names of the kids, the address, all that stuff, I like to have it written down. Again, if you don't feel comfortable with the children or parents, don't watch them. So I have had kids that I absolutely loved watching and that the parents were a little kooky. And then I've also had the other way that the parents were really nice and the kids were a little, we just didn't really mesh well together. They didn't really listen to me or whatever. So again, if there's something that doesn't feel right, you don't have to watch them. There's so many families that could use your help. Just find the ones that work for you. Okay, things that you should know. Things you should ask them about. And most of these things, if the children need a certain medication, the parents are not going to forget to tell you that. But just asking these questions makes you show interest and that, you know, you really care. So any allergies or medications. Most parents are not going to have you give medications to their children, but maybe let's say a vitamin in the morning, something like that. Who knows? Allergies, right? There's a lot of food allergies, environmental allergies. They'll probably let you know, right? If a kid is very allergic to peanut butter, you want to know that. You don't want to bring your peanut butter jelly sandwich over to eat there. So good to know. TV and screen time. I've had some parents that say, no TV time at all. I'm paying you to watch my kids. The TV should not be on. I have other parents that are fine with TV time, but kind of figure out what they want. For me, I try to limit the TV time, unless we're doing like a movie night or the kids are watching TV while I'm getting the food, like dinner ready. But figure out what the parents, how they feel about that. What they are not allowed to do and what they are allowed to do, the house rules, right? Are they allowed to drink soda? I've had kids that want to drink all this soda. I'm like, I don't don't know about that. We'll talk about when you're not sure in a few slides, if you're not sure about something. But figure out what the house rules are, right? What they do for discipline. If the kids are being rude, do they get sent to their room? Do they get their iPads taken away? What kind of discipline? I remember when I was younger, I must have been maybe in kindergarten. I was at a neighbor's house and there was a babysitter there. And when I was younger, I would just, get sent to my room. My parents would talk to me. This babysitter put me in timeout, and it was weird because I never sat in a chair in timeout before. So it was just a little strange at that age. That wasn't the discipline my parents used. So, you just want to kind of figure that out. And then depending on the age, the kids might be able to tell you, but you want to find out where the extra diapers, clothing, everything is. You could always look for it. The older kids obviously can tell you where that kind of stuff is, but it's just good to know, okay, where are the clothes if I need them? Where's all that stuff? Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is the money. So money can be a little awkward to talk about. Sorry if you hear my dog's feet moving. Louie, do you want to come say hi? Come here, Louie. Come here. This is my little Louie. This is my fur baby. Okay. Sorry about that. So anyway, money. It can be awkward because it's not like you're getting a check from a company. You're literally getting money handed to you from a person. So you want to figure this out, like I said, before you get there. There's different ways you could decide the money. You could do whatever the family offers. I've had some families that would pay me X amount. Another family would pay me this. I kind of like getting paid the same by everyone. I'll talk about that in a second. It just makes it easier. But, so it could be whatever the family offers. It could be the going rate. When I asked my friends that have kids how much they would pay, like a middle school, high school kid, they said $5 to $8 an hour. That is very dependent on who the people are. I know teens that get up to $20 an hour. So it really matters. So this is one thing, how you want to charge. So when I babysit, if I babysit for one family and they have 6 kids, or I babysit for one family and they have 2, I charge the same thing because my time is my time, and it doesn't really matter how many kids you have. To be honest, sometimes when there's more kids, it's actually easier. I've had kids that will have friends over, and it's easier just because they're kind of hanging out together. But so you can charge per child. You could say, okay, first child is $5, every other kid is $1. So if there's a family of 3, that would be $5, $6, $7 an hour. Again, you can decide. As you get older and more experienced, you can start to charge more. When I first started babysitting, I don't even know how much I made, but gradually, when I graduated high school, I got more. College, I got more. When I was a teacher, I got even more because you have more experience, you have more knowledge, right? Usually, someone's not going to pay a 13-year-old and a 30-year-old the same price, but you never know. Again, discuss before you get there. Super awkward if you get there to babysit and you think you babysit for 5 hours, you think you're getting all this money, and then you get home and you look in the envelope they gave you and it's half what you thought you were going to get. So good to discuss that. I actually have a story about that as well. I was babysitting for a friend. I would actually get there at 5 in the morning because the parents had to go work. And some days I would get what I thought was a good amount of money, and then some days I would leave and I'd be like, I just don't understand this. So it was super awkward, but I had to talk to them and say, oh, like I really babysit for this amount, and it was awkward, but it just wasn't worth it for me to wake up at 4:30 to be there by 5 and only make a little bit of money. So, definitely talk about it. Okay, quick tips for being the best babysitter ever from the kids' point of view. So have fun and be yourself and be confident, right? If you're kind of standing there, if you walk in and talk like this and have your head down, the kids can feel that you're not feeling confident. So have that confidence, right? Kids like when you're yourself. Like I said, they can tell when you're being fake. So just be yourself and have fun. Like literally babysitting is the best job. You get to hang out with kids. I always say when I babysit, I get to see all the Disney movies I would never see on my own, play all these games I would never play on my own. It's literally the best job ever, besides from doing library programs. Be interested in what the kids are interested in. At least seem interested in them. Like I said before, make them feel like they matter. And everyone wants to feel like they matter, right? If you tell someone something and they're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, you don't feel like really heard and loved. So if someone's telling you about their day at school or telling you about their favorite movie, if you show genuine interest, that will really make them connect with you more. Sorry, water break. Okay. Be fun. You want them to get excited when you're coming. Like I said, I used to get texts from my mom. She would send me videos and be like, oh, when's Michelle coming over? I'm so excited. You don't want them to be like, oh, Michelle's coming over again, right? The parents are going out maybe for work or maybe for fun, but they want their kids to be excited you're coming. Your body language can speak more than your words, but tone does matter. Like I said, if the kid's on his bike, a car's coming, you're not going to say, oh, slow down, you're going to say, Johnny, wait, there's a car, right? You want to let them know, you want to tone. Again, if the kids are fighting and you say, okay, guys, stop. If you guys say, guys, you really have to stop, right? You hear the tone. Also using words, not saying, instead of saying, shut up, not very nice to say, you say, please be quiet, right? You're saying the same thing, but you're saying it in a nicer way. Should never be saying shut up, not nice. Let's see. Did the parents say no TV? If the TV is on, it should be their shows, not yours. And don't just sit down and watch TV. So again, always having their shows on. Do you really want to watch Barney or Teletubbies? Maybe not. But if that's the age appropriate shows for those children, that's what should be on if the TV is on. No talking on the phone. Texting is okay. Have the phone near you, but don't be glued to it. So I don't know about you, but my family, we don't even have a home phone. So if somebody wants to contact me, especially like the parents, they usually text my cell phone or call me. So I always have my cell phone nearby, but I don't talk on it, and I don't really text my friends. If someone texts you, you can answer, hey, I'm babysitting, can I text you later? I've had my grandma call me while I'm babysitting, and my grandma doesn't call me that often. I get nervous, something's wrong. So I answer, I say, oh, I'm babysitting right now, can I call you back later? So you can be on it quickly, but again, don't be glued to it. And then when the kids are asleep, age-appropriate shows should also be on. You don't want the children you think are asleep to come down, you have It or some scary movie on, and then they're scared and they won't go back to sleep, right? Because sometimes kids will go upstairs, you put them to bed, they come back down. So again, just always age-appropriate. It's even like The Office. Would a little kid watch The Office? Maybe not. But if they come down and see The Office on, they're not going to be scared of it. Like I said, like a horror movie or something else. Okay. Some other tips for being the best babysitter ever. Don't post pictures. So, right, my generation, we have Facebook. I know you guys have TikTok, Instagram. Don't take, or most of you do, don't take pictures and post of the people's house, of the people's children, of anything like that. Imagine if they were your kids. Maybe the parents don't want their pictures online. The only time I ever take pictures is if I'm sending it to the parents. So the parents want to see a picture. You know, if there's like, oh, how's everything going? I'll send them a picture of their child. The picture goes to the parents, that's it. But no posting online. Make sure that your social media is appropriate, right? This day and age, you can Google anyone. Make sure that your pictures that you have up are pictures that you want your grandma to see, you want babysitting to see, right? Make sure that's all appropriate. Don't invite people over. If they're paying you to babysit, it should just be you. You should never babysit and then call people and have them come over. I have, after I babysat people for a long time, had friends, I've asked them before, said, hey, can my friend come over? You don't have to pay her. I'll split my money with her. We've done that. Also, sometimes the people I babysit have had their friends come over with their kids, so it's like double babysitting and we have two people. But again, never invite anyone over unless you've already asked. And I would do that after you have a real relationship with the people you're babysitting for. Don't eat all their food. So whenever I babysit, people always say, oh, feel free to eat whatever you want. My rule is if there's one of it, don't eat it. So if there's a whole thing of Oreos, sure, eat an Oreo. If there's like one Swiss chocolate bar from Switzerland, maybe don't eat that, right? We all hate when we go home, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have that leftover pizza, and then somebody eats it. You know, something like that. I just try to, you know, just eat what's there and not do the other stuff that's not as much. If the baby won't stop crying, if you're watching a little one and you tried everything or did something happen, call the parents. Parents would rather you call them if you have a question than not, or text. This day and age, we live in more of a texting kind of world. So if you have a question, text them, let them know. It shows, like the next one, if you ask me questions, will I seem inexperienced? No, it's the total opposite. It shows that you care. Sometimes I forget too, I have different families and I forget the code to open the garage, or I forget how many ounces the baby's supposed to eat. If you can ask before, great, but if you forget, say, I just want to confirm, is it the baby gets 4 ounces? You know, just ask those things, it shows you care. Some things it's like, you know, if it's something that doesn't really matter, like what show the kid can watch, if they're all appropriate. You don't have to bother them with stuff like that. Use your best judgment. But some things you really should be calling them or texting them to ask. Don't cancel on a family. If you do, give them enough time and really emergencies only. You know, don't cancel because you want to go to a friend's house or something like that. But if you have to cancel, say, oh, I have a friend who could babysit in my place. Or if things happen, sometimes things do come up right before. I've had a flat tire. I can't physically get to their house. Just let them know. Sometimes with that, right, sometimes the parents are just going out to eat. Okay, not a big deal. Sometimes the parents have a work function or they're working and they really need you there. So, you know, just try not to cancel. If you have to cancel, do you have a friend that could fill in that you trust? And again, just be honest with them. Okay, next we're going to discuss things you should know to make sure you know before they go. Again, just some important stuff. Ask the parents again, anything you aren't sure about, more questions the better, right? Write it down. Ask them to write it down. Sometimes I'll say before, can you just make a list of when you want the kids to eat, when you want to do this, when you want to do that? Always, again, come a few minutes early, just go over that stuff. When I babysit for families for a while, I'll literally we're like ships in the night. I'll be coming to their house, they'll be leaving. But again, if you're just starting to babysit for someone, they're going to be there for at least half an hour, 15 minutes. They're going to not leave for at least half an hour, 50 minutes after you get there. Again, have their cell phone numbers of where they'll be, right? If they're going to a restaurant, sometimes we don't have the best cell service. Have that information just in case you have to get in touch with them. Also, doctors, hospital, neighbor numbers, anything like that, anything in case of emergency that you would need to have. Figure out when bedtime is, right? If they usually go to bed at 8 and you put them to bed at 10, not so great. We'll talk about bedtime in a little bit, but just figure out when the bedtime is. What and when to feed the kids. Do the kids eat whenever they want? Do they have a certain time they eat? Are they allowed snacks? All that stuff. Also what, again, with allergies, they would let you know, but to know that that's good. Again, discipline. What do the types of discipline do the parents use? Timeout, no electronics, that kind of stuff. So again, just to make sure you know these things. Bedtime ritual. Sometimes I've gone babysitting, the kids are already in their pajamas, which is great. So they already have their toothbrush, they're ready to go. You know, do the kids take a bath every night? Do they sing a song and read a book? What kind of things, what's their ritual every night that they do? Just knowing that will make your night a lot easier. If something happened, forbid that something happened, what would they want you to do? They want you to call 911, then call them, and then call 911, just to know these kind of things. Again, I've never had to call an ambulance or anything, but just knowing that. And then when they'll be home, right? Just to kind of know. I've had parents that say 11. Again, you guys probably would not be watching, you know, kids really late into the night. But I've had parents that say 11 o'clock. and then don't come home until like 2, which is not very fun for me because I like to go to bed early. But again, kind of knowing when they'll be home is always nice. Okay, so usually this is the part where, because this is a longer program, where we take a break, and I have you guys make bags that are babysitting bags. Usually I get tote bags. You can even use a paper bag, anything you want. And this is a bag, even sometimes I'll just bring my purse, and I have some games or different things in my bag. Your best friend is the Dollar Tree. Really cheap dollar books, coloring books, toys. Or sometimes I even bring my own games. Like I've brought Mancala to a family's house, right? Different things. Just kind of gets them excited to have something new. So usually we take a bag, decorate it, and then I just say, you know, these are different things you can put into the bag, bubbles, stickers, all that kind of stuff. But since this is virtual, we're not going to take a break. We're going to keep trucking. So the next part we're going to go through is ages and stages. So we're going to talk about different ages, what they're doing. Every child is so different, right? When you started walking, when I started walking, when you started talking, when I started talking, we all did that at different ages, but these are more or less the guidelines. Today, my helpers are going to be Shrek, and then we do have also a little snowman. So these are going to be my props for today. So we're going to start with babies. Babies put everything in their mouths, so choking hazards, right? Anything small, anything little, you want them to stay away from it. You want to make sure the floor is clean, that these things are not lying around. Again, because they just put everything in their mouth. That's how they learn, right? They learn by putting in their mouth, by feeling. They also learn by listening, looking, and touching, right? So they're maybe touching different things. They're looking around, they're taking it all in. Newborns, so when they're really little, you always want to support the neck, right? So when an older kid, you can hold them different ways. Babies, you always want to have support on the neck, okay? So your arm here, and then if you're handing them off to someone, you always want to support the neck. Their neck muscles are not strengthened yet, so the head can go back and they can get hurt. So again, supporting the neck. Again, these are milestones. Everybody is different. But at 6 months, right, they can roll over. They can move themselves around. If they're not comfortable, they can move. 9 months, they start crawling, maybe standing with some help. At 12 months, which is a year, they walk without help, maybe say a few words. And babies cry for all different reasons. Usually they cry when they're wet, meaning a diaper change, when they're hungry, or they're unhappy, right? Maybe they're uncomfortable, they don't want to sit a certain way, they want to be somewhere else. So those are the usual things that they will cry about. So right, if you change a diaper, you feed them, they're still crying, maybe just move them around, pick them up, right? Sometimes if we're uncomfortable and we couldn't move ourselves, we'd probably cry too. So just getting them comfortable. Okay, time to eat. So again, different for all different children, but more or less, these are more the milestones. 4 to 6 months, babies start to eat solid foods. Really now more towards the 6 months. There's a whole bunch of different cues, which we're not going to go into, that kind of show readiness for babies when they're ready to eat. So around 6 months, some people wait a little longer, the babies start eating solid food. Solid food does not mean a cheeseburger. It means the cereal mixes, the purees, that kind of stuff, where some people do baby-led weaning, another thing we're not going into right now. But so yeah, cereal mixed with formula, or cereal mixed with breast milk, canned baby food, purees. It takes a while for the baby to eat, so you want to do small spoonfuls that will sometimes dribble out of their mouth. This is actually a spoon. Actually my brother's baby spoon. Mine was Beauty and the Beast. His is, even though you can't really see it anymore, outer space. So when you're feeding the baby, right, you have their mouth, you want to take a little bit. I like to lightly, again, if they have teeth, a little different, if they have their gums, take the food, kind of rub it against their gums so it gets into their mouth. And then sometimes I'll just kind of take the spoon and clean some food off around their mouth and give it to them. So the food dribbles out, right? It's not like us that we're nice and clean, we eat their babies. For the baby bottle, There's all different sizes, shapes of baby bottles, but in a bottle you're gonna have formula, which is a man-made food, or breast milk. If you have breast milk, the parents usually will have it in the freezer, but if they know you're coming, it will be in the refrigerator, thawed out, all ready to go. Formula, there's formulas you have to mix, and then there's formulas that are pre-made, ready to go. Again, the parents will walk you through all that. But just ask how much, how to heat it up, all of that stuff. When you put, everyone does differently. Some people, old school, boil water, put it in the boiling water. Some people just take a hot glass of water from the sink, put it in there. There's also bottle warmers, which are basically contraptions that you put some water in, you press a button, you put the bottle in, it dings when it's ready. Or some people do the microwave. If you use the microwave, you just want to take the top off and just put the bottom in. And then a way to check the bottle is that you want to make sure it's a good temperature. You don't want to put it on your skin because you don't want contamination. Not that our skin's that dirty, but still, you just want to, you know, they're putting it in a newborn's mouth. You want to take the bottle when it's full. A little bit will drop onto your skin. It shouldn't feel hot. It shouldn't feel cold. If it's a little, if you feel a little cool, it's okay. But if it's hot to your skin, it's way too hot for the baby's mouth. So that's the way to test the temperature. And again, parents will let you know how to heat it up. Bibs, towels, all that stuff to clean, keep the baby clean, clean yourself, clean around, all that stuff. And then when you are using the bottle, you do not want to have it too much up because they can get air in there. You don't want to have it too much aside, the baby won't get any. You just want to have it on a nice angle and feed the baby, right? Some babies are fed in your arms. Some babies are fed in a high chair. You just want to know how to clip in the high chair. You want to use all the clips, all the parts that are supposed to be there for optimal safety. And then burping. So burping after, sometimes you'll do it halfway through, sometimes you'll do it at the end. Again, parents will tell you. You can burp with them on your back. You don't want to do it too light because that won't do anything. You don't want to do it too hard. You just want to do a nice kind of rhythmic burp, right? Just to get all the air out. You can also do it if you're sitting down. You could have them on your knee and kind of go like that. If they're old enough, you can have them sitting up and burping, right? You just want to get that air out. If there's too much air, it can cause discomfort and tummy aches, and we don't want that to happen, so it's easier to get it out now this way, burping, than the other way, if you know what I mean. If they are having gas problems, you could always bicycle the legs, right? So taking the knees really up to the belly to get some of the gas out. And yes, on to the next one, spit up. So spit up and throw up, two different things, right? As adults, as teens, as non-babies, we don't really spit up, right? Throw up is when it is thicker, right? When there's food, when there's all that. Spit up babies, it's just saliva. That sometimes they have too much going on, so they'll kind of dribble out of their mouth, all that stuff. It's okay, just clean it up. Sometimes you might have to change them. Sometimes babies go through a lot of clothes just because they spit up all over themselves quite often. Don't be worried. Okay, diaper duty, get it? Diaper duty? So now we're gonna use our little snowman. Sorry, snowman, we have not seen much of you this winter, right? We barely had any snow, hopefully. I think we're done by now. So when you're changing a baby's diaper, people do it all different places. Some parents I've seen have a station on a pack and play. Some do it on a changing table, some do it on the floor. You just never want to leave an infant unattended, right? So if I'm changing the baby on a higher up surface, and let's say you need, you forgot the wipes or something, you want to just hold on to the baby or take the baby down and then get what you need. Or really get what you need before, that's the best. And then you want to distract the baby with a toy, right? So babies, when they get older, they kind of put their hands all over. If I give them a toy, keeps their hands occupied, and you can change the diaper. So most diapers, this one is obviously way too big for my snowman, but most diapers This one is, I don't even know where this is from. I've had this one for so long. But most diapers will have characters on them, and usually they'll have a face in the front. The parents might have different size diapers, but they'll usually have the diapers size that you need, accessible. So you usually want to put these, so the Velcro is always on the back, and the Velcro is going to go to the front, and it should kind of frame, here I just have a circle since this one doesn't have the character. Should kind of frame the character in the front, right? It shouldn't be how I had it before, it was way too tight, but fit him correctly, was over the character. So, right, that should be a good size. It shouldn't be around the legs, around the stomach. You shouldn't have too much space. If it's too tight, it will hurt them, right? Just like if we wear pants that are too tight. If it's too loose, you will have some leakage, and that's never fun. So you're going to put the baby down, pick their legs up, put Velcro on the back, put the diaper around. Again, you keep them down the whole time, but I'm just going to do it this way to show you. And then, again, you'd want to stop at the character on the front. But since our guy's a little small, how I say to do it is you're going to put your finger just into the top of the diaper to see. You should be able to put 2 fingers. Your fingers shouldn't feel super tight, and you're just putting it right on the top of it. Shouldn't be too tight and shouldn't be too loose. Again, if it's too loose, we'll have a mess all over. Too tight, very uncomfortable. So that's with the diapers. Also, parents are different. Some parents use wipes. You're gonna always wipe front to back. But some parents, if it's just a pee diaper, some parents don't use wipes, some parents do. So figure that out, what they do. Sometimes they have creams they want you to use. If you don't feel comfortable, let them know. But just, if a baby's wearing a diaper, they'll kind of let you know. Also, some older kids will wear pull-ups, right? So they wear underwear during the day, but like a nighty diaper at night. All right, Mr. Snowman. Whoops. Okay. Next one, toddlers. I love toddlers. It's a fun age. They just say whatever they feel, and they're just like, it's just a fun age to me. Always on the go. So they're always moving, wanting to do stuff, always active. They're curious and have a short attention span. Your attention span is usually, I forget now if it's half your age or double your age, but very short. So if you're a 1-year-old, you have up to a 2-minute attention span, if that, right? So you want to be doing things that's really grabbing their attention, keeping them engaged. Playing with toys, they love active activities, right? Running around, doing that kind of stuff. And they get into everything, right? 1 second they're playing with the blocks, next second they're playing with the dolls and the trucks and this and that, and they're all over the place. So games they like, finger plays like Itsy Bitsy Spider, if you're happier and you know it, any of those kind of things, songs. Preschool, ages around 3 to 4, a little more independent. They like doing things on their own, right? At this age, they'll say, well, I want to do it, oh, I want to do it. Sometimes it's easier right before we just do it, but having them help, having them kind of try to do things is always awesome. Helps them with their self-confidence. Love attention, right? They just want your attention the whole time. Pretend imaginary play. This is an age where they really like to play house or restaurant or any of those things, right? They like to pretend that they're animals. They have that imagination. Making projects, arts and crafts, going outside and making potions with different things. That age, they really like that kind of stuff. Parallel play. So parallel play is, like 2 children, let's say we're at a train table, 2 kids playing train, but not necessarily playing together, not interacting and saying, oh, hey, Thomas, oh, hey, Percy, right? They are just playing. I'm playing with my toy here. He's playing with his toy here. So playing next to each other, and then they learn to play together, but that's parallel play when they're playing side by side. This age, they like games like Mother May I, Red Light, Green Light, all those kind of things. Some kids don't know some of these games, which if you don't, look them up, they're fun. Okay, separation anxiety, that's never fun. The first kid I actually babysat for, the one I mother's help for, I didn't mother's help for that long because he had really bad separation anxiety. So separation anxiety is basically they get anxious, they get scared, upset when the parents are away from them. So assure them the parents will be home soon. Don't lie. Don't say, oh, mom just went outside for 2 minutes, because they're smart. They know that. These are things that I have found that are really helpful. If sometimes the kids will go to bed and be like, oh, I miss my mommy. Just say, oh, she'll be home when you wake up. I'll make sure when she comes home, she'll come give you a kiss and big hug, and she'll be here when you wake up. Also, one thing I've always found that works is the kids will be upset and I'll be like, oh, I don't want them to leave. And I said, okay, let's go try to find them. So what we'll do is we'll go from window to window trying to see where she is. So like, oh, let's go look out this window. Is she there? Oh, nope. Let's go look out this window. Is she there? Oh, nope. Let's go look out this window. Is she there? Nope. And then after a while they forget. Then they might bring it up and say, oh, she'll be home soon. Just kind of brush it off, right? If you focus on it, then they'll focus on it. Time to eat again. Just talking about a few more things that are important. Make sure the kids are safe when you're preparing the food, right? So you don't want to have a kid in a high chair, not buckled in while you're making food. Not safe. Also, you might not want to be holding a baby if you're boiling the water. Just have them close by, secure, safe, right? Older kids can be in the room next door while you're making food. You know, just have them safe. Feed only what the parents say is okay. For younger kids, you might want to cut some things, well, you will have to cut some things into smaller pieces like hot dogs and grapes. Again, parents will let you know that. Don't serve food that's too hot, let it cool. You know, it's better to have lukewarm than boiling hot. You don't want them to get burnt. Always put the leftovers away, right? So if you make them some pasta, you want to put it away after. You don't want to leave it out. And then make sure the baby's properly in their seat strapped in, like I said. If there's multiple straps in the high chair, that those are in, that the tray is properly in, all that stuff. Kids sitting on a chair, the chair's pushed in, they're sitting correctly. And don't leave them alone when eating, right? Choking hazards, we wanna be safe. Don't serve food in a glass unless the parents have, now they have these glass bowls that have rubber around them and stuff. If the parents, that's what they're using, that's okay. But kids save plastics, or sometimes they have bamboo utensils and bowls now. You always want to clean up after yourself. You want to leave the house cleaner than when you got there. So that's my rule. If I go to someone's house and it is clean, when the parents get home, it should be clean. Meaning the blankets, the kitchen, all that stuff. If I get to your house and the sink is full of dirty dishes when I get there, I might try to do a little bit of it, but to be honest, dirty dishes kind of gross me out, especially if they've been sitting there. So I just try to leave it clean or a little cleaner than when they got there. The parents will really appreciate that, and that will be a thing that will make them want to hire you over and over again. Let's see, finish dinner before dessert, right? They should, I don't make a kid finish their whole plate unless the parents are super strict like that. But just say, okay, a few more pieces and then we can have dessert. A few more pieces and then we can, you know, make the ice cream sandwiches or whatever it is. Two things that I found out that are really helpful is doing the airplane, right? So you go pretend like you're gonna get, well, not pretend, actually get it into their mouth, or pretend you're going to eat their food. It always works, even with older kids, right? So it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna eat your food. You can put it behind, which looks like you're gonna eat, or sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm really gonna eat a piece, and then the kids will be like, oh no, I want it, right? Because they always want what other people have, so that will get them to eat. Okay, the next thing is their bedtime routine. So 30 minutes before their bedtime starts, you want to start quieting them down, right? You don't want to be running outside, swimming in the pool. You want to kind of chill out a little bit around 30 minutes before they have to go to bed. If they, you want to ask the parents, you want to know, do they get a bottle before bed, brush their teeth, use the bathroom, change diapers, change into PJs, pull-ups, shower, take a bath? What do they do? Do they usually read a book, sing a song? What do the parents usually do with them? For babies, do they get rocked to sleep? Do they just get put into the crib and fall asleep on their own? Then one thing I found super helpful is letting them know 15 minutes before bed, right? So kind of getting them ready. So let's say your quiet down before bed is watching a show, right? Letting them know, guys, after the show, we're gonna start going to bed. Letting them know halfway through, 15 minutes, guys, we're gonna go up to bed. All right, guys, after this commercial, we're gonna go to bed. All right, are you ready? Then they kind of know. It's not all of a sudden, hey, to bedtime, right? You're getting them ready. Stick to the parents' times, but don't go crazy, right? If it's a school day the next day, they should probably go to bed on time. If they have nothing to do the next day, okay, maybe a little more lenient, but still really try to stick to the parents' times. But don't go crazy if you can't get them to go to bed right away. If you can't get them to go to bed, here's some things that can be helpful. Make sure you have their nightlight, sound machine, all that stuff on if they're used to it, right? Some people have like the blackout shades, so there's no light outside, right? Those things that they're used to. If they're used to having the shades down, you don't put the shades down or the sound machine on, it might make it a little harder for them to go to bed. One thing I found super helpful is staying in the room with them until they fall asleep. So I used to, right, go put them to bed, do a whole song and dance and all that stuff. Put them to bed, go downstairs. Then they would come down the steps and say, oh, I can't fall asleep. So one thing I found super helpful is I put them to bed, we do the whole routine, and then I let them know. I said, okay, I'll stay in the room if you want, but we're not talking. I'm going to stay here till you fall asleep. I'll wait about 10 minutes, and I tell them this, okay, I'm gonna say, are you awake? If you don't answer, I'm gonna go downstairs. They feel comfortable. Sometimes they just like having someone closer by. They fall asleep. I ask them if they're awake. They don't answer, go downstairs, and then they usually don't come down. Let's see, once they fall asleep, check on them every once in a while. Right, some kids will toss the blankets off. Some kids will have their leg hanging off the bed, right? Just making sure that they're comfortable, that the babies are good, all that stuff. You want to be nice and quiet when you go check on them though. You don't want to wake them up. A monitor, if you have a monitor on, especially with the little ones, like the babies, bring it wherever you go. Go to the bathroom, you go to the kitchen, make sure you bring it with you. Babies won't stop crying, stay calm. You might need to change a diaper, feed them, soothe them, right? Just don't freak out. One thing, okay, like I said before, if you don't feel comfortable, do not do it. So, but my mom lets me, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Offer a substitute or give them other choices, right? Somebody wants to ride a bike to their friend's house, you don't feel comfortable, say, okay, I don't feel comfortable, and let them know, I don't feel comfortable you doing it. I know you probably can, but I don't feel comfortable. Instead, do you want me to walk over there with you? Do you want me to drive you? Do you want to ride scooters? What do you want to do? Give them options. Always think about safety first, enforce the rules calmly, and make an agreement, right? I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but we could do these instead. Kids will trick you to do whatever they want, right? So they'll say, oh, my mom lets me have soda. Oh, my mom lets me have 3 cans of soda. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. One thing I found really helpful is saying, okay, I don't feel comfortable with you riding your bike or drinking that soda now, but you know what? When your mom comes home, I'll ask her, and if she says yes, next time we can do it. It's not like you're saying no, never. You're just doing what you feel comfortable with. Again, be firm but fun. If you're a pushover, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily, they won't dislike you just because you're firm, right? We all have those teachers that maybe sometimes are more pushovers than other, and just because they're more easygoing doesn't mean we necessarily like them more. And sometimes kids need that firmness a little bit, but again, fun. Fighting. One thing, fighting's the worst with siblings, right? One thing I found super helpful is when a child is whining, right? They want something, they're whining, oh, blah, blah, blah. I literally say, I don't understand what you're saying. They want something, they want to get their point across. Say, I can't understand you when you're whining. Can you calm down and tell me? They'll calm down, they get their point across because they want something. But right, the whining, if you feed into that and you coddle them when they're whining, they'll just continue to do it. If siblings are fighting, give them some time to cool off and settle down. Try not to yell, again, but be stern. See what happens, talk it out, have them apologize, move on. Siblings fight all the time, right? This shouldn't be a big problem. One thing I found super helpful too, it's a little corny, but telling them not to smile. Say, okay, just don't smile. And then when you tell someone not to smile, you want to smile. Or say, oh my gosh, did you lose your smile? Did you leave it outside? Oh, should we go try to find your smile, right? Just little things makes their minds just change gears. Be careful. I think we only have about 3 more slides to go. You guys have been doing great. Hopefully you've been learning a lot. Be careful. Make sure all doors are locked as soon as the parents leave, right? No one should really be coming in and out unless you guys are going to play outside. Also, don't answer the door. This day and age, people don't come to the door as much as they did back in my day. But no one should really be coming to the door, right? No one's really coming there for you unless you're ordering pizza or something like that. Don't answer the door. Same with the phone. Unless it's the parents' numbers or they're asking you, oh, can you pick up if so-and-so calls? No need to answer the phone. It's probably not for you. Be careful with little kids around the steps. If you're holding a baby, make sure you're holding onto the railing while you go up or down. If you're walking with a child up the steps, have them in front of you when you're walking up and walk in front of them when you're walking down. I don't know if you've ever fallen down the steps. I have. It's not funny. It's not fun. It hurts. So be careful. Always keep an eye on the kids on the steps, but really everywhere keep an eye on them. Be careful with hazardous materials, sharps, scissors, knives, all the stuff. Kids shouldn't be touching them. And make sure you know where the first aid kit is. Hopefully you won't have to use it, but sometimes Band-Aids, right? Even sometimes a kid hurts their finger and they're not bleeding, but sometimes they just want a Band-Aid. So just even to know where that is, right? Even for the non-essential things. First aid, do not panic, right? If you panic, if a kid hurts themselves and you stay calm, they'll stay calm, right? So if a kid's bleeding from their head and you go, oh my God, are you okay? They're gonna freak out. But if you just stay calm, stay relaxed, then they will be more relaxed, right? If let's say they hurt their hand where it's something they can see, just kind of move it to the side so they can't really see it. And if you don't feel comfortable, don't let them do it, right? So again, to make not having to use these, right? If you don't feel comfortable, you'd rather be safe than sorry. So don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Make sure you have the babysitter phone numbers, addresses, all that stuff in case you do need to call 911. Also, getting certified in first aid, CPR, AED for babies and kids. It's two different for CPR. It's totally different compressions and numbers and everything. Sometimes libraries will offer, American Red Cross, fire stations will offer those classes. If you take one, it's great to know. So I would do that. And last but not least, helpful hints, tips, same thing. Hopefully all of this has been helpful, but these are the last ones. If you have to go to the bathroom, make sure the child is secure, just like when you're setting up the food, make sure everything is nice and safe, right? That they're nice and safe. Also go to the bathroom before you get there if you can, when they're sleeping, but of course if you have to go, you have to go. While kids are asleep, clean up a little bit and then relax. You shouldn't be cleaning up. If the parents aren't home for 3 hours, you shouldn't be cleaning up the whole time. But I like to clean up. Again, I like to have the house cleaner or a little bit cleaner than when I got there, right? Putting the pillows where they're supposed to go, folding the blankets, cleaning the kitchen, that kind of stuff, putting the toys away. But then again, relax too. You know, if you've just been working hard hours with the kids, relax a little bit. Also have the kids help you clean. Make a game out of it, right? Make it fun for them. If there's animals, take care of the animals. Let them out, feed them, play with them. Again, pet sitting, you could always pet sit the animals. They see you're taking good care of them. They'll appreciate that. Again, last thing, if you don't feel comfortable with the parents, if you don't feel comfortable with them driving you home, I'm sure your parents would be more than happy to come get you. Just anything, if you don't feel comfortable, listen to that voice inside your head. You know, babysitting really is the best job, but you want to be safe. The kids need to be safe. Like I said, I've been babysitting for a long, long time. I love it. It's the best job. I get to hang out with kids and play, and it's just awesome. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email the librarians. You can leave comments below. I appreciate you spending some time with me, learning about childcare and babysitting, and hopefully this will be a new job for you. All right, thank you so much.